What if I told you that you could trade your entire house for a flower? Not a field of them. Not a farm. A single, solitary flower bulb. Sounds insane, right? Like a story from a fantasy novel. But this isn't fantasy. This is the true story of one of the wildest financial bubbles in human history. A time when a flower bulb could make you a king or leave you a beggar overnight. This is the story of Tulip Mania. Our story begins in the Dutch Golden Age of the 1630s. The Netherlands was the wealthiest nation on earth. Trade was booming. Ships brought back unimaginable riches from across the globe, and for the first time, regular people, bakers, weavers, blacksmiths, had money to spare. And they wanted to show it off. The ultimate status symbol wasn't gold or diamonds. It was something new, exotic, and beautiful, recently imported from the Ottoman Empire. The tulip. But these weren't your average garden tulips. The most prized were the broken tulips, bulbs infected with a virus that gave their petals spectacular flame-like streaks of color. They were living pieces of art, and each one was unique. Owning one was like owning a masterpiece. At first it was a hobby for the ultra-rich, but soon everyone wanted in. The prices started to creep up. Then they started to gallop. And then they went vertical. People saw their neighbors getting rich, and the most powerful force in finance took hold. FOMO, the fear of missing out. Soon, people weren't even trading actual tulips anymore. They were trading promissory notes for bulbs that were still in the ground. They called it wind handle, literally wind trade, the world's first futures market, conducted in smoke-filled taverns. A single bulb of the legendary Semper Augustus was sold for the price of a grand Amsterdam estate. People traded their life savings, their businesses, their family homes, all for the promise of a flower bulb that they had never even seen. Think about that. An entire life's work, converted into a single dormant plant root, based on the belief that someone else would be willing to pay even more for it tomorrow. For a moment, it seemed like the party would never end. Everyone was a genius. Everyone was getting rich. And then, in the winter of 1637, it happened. No one knows exactly what the trigger was. Maybe a group of buyers simply did not show up to a bulb auction in the city of Haarlem. Maybe a sliver of doubt crept into the market. But whatever it was, the spell was broken. Someone decided to sell. Then another. Then a flood. Panic ripped through the taverns and trading houses. The prices didn't just fall, they evaporated. The man who owned a mansion in the form of a tulip bulb woke up the next morning holding, well, just a flower bulb. Worthless. Paper fortunes built on wind vanished into thin air. Bankruptcies swept the nation. The blame game began, and fortunes were lost as quickly as they were made. So, why are we talking about a flower bubble from 400 years ago? Because the story of Tulip Mania is not about tulips. It's about us. It's a timeless lesson in human psychology. It reveals our deep-seated greed, our tendency for herd mentality, and our incredible ability to believe something is valuable simply because its price is going up. From the dot-com stocks of the 90s to the housing market in 2008, and even the wild swings in cryptocurrencies and NFTs today, the pattern is exactly the same. The assets change, but the human behavior doesn't. Tulip Mania was the first time the world saw this kind of financial madness, but it certainly wasn't the last. It serves as a chilling reminder that the line between an investment and a delusion can sometimes be as thin as a flower petal. So, I have to ask, what do you think is the tulip of our time? Let me know your thoughts in the comments below.